Flair. Woo! Hey guys, welcome to 1+1 Games. My name is Tyler.
My name is Sean, and this is the Rumor Ring. Welcome to the Rumor Ring. The way it works is Tyler and I here will talk about all the most recent rumors, theories, predictions, and sometimes we'll just make bets. And as they are revealed to be true or fake, points will be allotted to the person who.
Yeah. Speaking of which, we're gonna have to recap.
That'll be at the end. Yeah.
Oh, from last last episodes. Okay.
Yeah, a few points are going to be allotted today. That'll be at the end of the episode for rumors that we talked about last week.
Okay. If you guys missed that, go check it out now.
Yeah, we'll put the link down below in an annotation or something.
Yeah, check out the score at the end. Spoiler alert: I win every time.
For now.
I prefer.
That's because we pushed the Quantum Break review score so
I don't
far
know if
back
that was. I didn't know if that was actually true or not. I didn't keep track of my own bets, but
I think you might be ahead.
Okay, I might have actually pulled ahead.
Yeah, for now.
Until
next week.
We'll see. We'll see how this rumor ring goes.
All right. So anyway, we're gonna jump into some new ones here today. The first of which, there's gonna be a few rumors based around Red Dead Redemption.
Okay.
Or just any Red Dead sequel. All these kind of come from the same rumor from FragHero.com. We're breaking it up into three distinct parts, though. The first of which is that the next one will be called Red Dead Redemption 2: Legends of the West. This part solely came from FragHero.com. They said an anonymous source from Rockstar tipped them off about it in an email.
Okay.
So yeah, your thoughts?
I mean, personally, I think it's a little cheesy of a title, but it's not that far off of what they might do. But like, who would be working at Rockstar that would just kind of casually drop that in through an email? I think.
And if they did, why Frag Hero?
Exactly.
Not like IGN or Polygon or any site that's actually read by people.
I think that's a little bogus. I think maybe it was like a friend of a friend who knows a guy that works at Rockstar, heard something that got passed along, this kind of maybe like a whisper down the lane sort of deal. I'm going to say that is completely false. Team false.
Yeah, I couldn't be more team fake if I wanted to be.
Right.
There's so many things wrong with this. One, I think if they do another Red Dead, which I think they definitely are, it's not going to have redemption in the title. It's going to be another R word, just like Revolver, Redemption, something. Like
Red Dead Regeneration, where he comes back from the dead.
Spoilers.
Sorry. Spoiler alert.
This game's been out forever.
If you haven't beaten it by now, it's on you.
And then the second part, Legends of the West, just sounds like the most generic title you could potentially come up with for a Western game.
Very cliche.
Like, Rockstar is usually pretty good at how they name stuff and, make stuff. And I don't know, that just doesn't sound
okay, off to a start. I think we both can agree, team fake.
Yeah. Now, the next part, this was part of that Frag Hero rumor, but we're just going to take it as just kind of a bet either way, whether or not they were actually right about anything. Do you think we're going to be seeing Red Dead at E3, the next one? Whatever it may be called?
Yeah, actually. I think we will. Coming up this June, why not? Fuck it. I feel like Rockstar needs to, well... Yeah, no, I'm not. I gotta stick with my gut on this one. I was about to second guess myself, but I already committed. I'm gonna say that yes, team true.
I'm going team fake.
You're wrong.
Mainly because Rockstar is infamous for just not being at E3, and I think they're gonna continue that trend. They announce things on their own time.
Okay. Do their own thing.
They don't care at all.
That
about
seems
E3.
actually, now that you say that, a little fitting for a company like Rockstar. But who knows?
You saying team true?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta trust. Like I said, I'm trusting my gut on this one.
Okay. Yeah. So, and then the third rumor, that it came from the article again. We're just gonna kind of bet on it whether or not Frag Hero was right. Is that there will be multiple protagonists, GTA 5 style, for the next Red Dead game.
Okay.
I personally think they will do it. I'm team true on this one. Team real.
Team real. Okay.
Yeah. I think it worked really well in GTA, and I actually have it noted on the screen. Like, they could totally go for like a good and bad and the ugly kind of vibe. old West
Good,
kind
Bad,
of
Ugly,
style.
but,
You know,
yeah.
maybe one character's a sheriff.
They got to be very careful
One
when
is like
when
a-
they're phrasing Good, Bad, and Ugly with a Western style.
Oh, I'm sure they won't say
they-
that, but
yeah. I get what you mean though with that. It would be cool, but like do you think like I could almost see them doing it? I don't know. Maybe this is far off, but I'm picturing more Call of Juarez, the cartel, where we have like that. You have your different characters and your different types. Like you said, you're good, you're bad, and ugly. But I would maybe like it if it was a multiplayer experience where we could play that through that campaign together and have those kind of side missions going on that we don't necessarily know about.
yeah, it was cool
that-
how they did it in that.
It was cool how they did
but-
in that game, and I would like that in this setting. Because I liked it in GTA where you had the multiple protagonists, and I get that that's their thing. But I would like them to see or I'd like to see something a little different than that. As great as it was, in Grand Theft Auto being able to do that,
So,
I don't know.
So
I
what,
just
how
want
are you
something
calling it?
I for hope's sake, I'm gonna say Team Fake.
Okay.
Although I could very
Team
well
Real.
see even a Team Real.
All right. Next rumor, we're moving right along to Assassin's Creed. This comes from the same
Mhm.
rumor that stated that Assassin's Creed will skip 2016, which turned out to be true, and that Watch Dogs 2 will be set in San Fran, which we already talked about last week.
Yep.
This rumor it's stating that next year's Assassin's Creed in 2017 it will be set in Egypt. Now, in that rumor, they also stated that not only will it be set in Egypt, but Assassin's Creed will be taking some cues from the Witcher series in terms of just how the game plays. Now, we're not going to really talk too much about that, as awesome as it's going to be, but mainly we're gonna talk about the setting.
Just focus in
If
on
we
where
think
it's taking
that
place.
Egyptian rumor is true.
I mean, personally, I think that it is very well to be true. It's not necessarily what I would want.
I think everyone wants Japan at this point.
Feudal Japan is
And-
that's kind of like what everyone would go for.
Ubisoft just kind of laughs.
But
every year.
I'm trying to think based off like the Chronicle series that came out. You had what was it? India, China, and Russia.
Yeah.
I would have thought maybe a Russian one would have been a little bit cool, but after having it in Chronicles, I don't think they're going to touch down on that. Egypt seems to be the way to go. Because if they were to give feudal Japan now and follow it up with Egypt, I think the fans would be disappointed. So
Yeah.
why not do it in a way where you can still hit both scenes? I'm gonna go a step beyond this. I'm gonna say Team Real for Egypt, followed up by the next Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. Calling it now.
All right.
2017, here I come. Or
Yeah,
maybe
and
2018 if they skip.
I'm Team Real as well. I think mainly because of the rumor. Again, last week I bet Team Real for San Fran for Watch Dogs 2 because of this
Ooh,
rumor.
I still hope you're wrong.
And again,
I
I'm
would
gonna
hate
go into
San
Team Real just because I think all three of those rumors, together. I think it was Kotaku who broke that. I think they're right on all of those fronts. Plus, Egypt with the more Witcher kind of influence to the game. I think next year's Assassin's Creed could be something finally a little different
Yeah.
for the series.
And Egypt wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah.
Not to sit here and knock on it. It would be fun. But man, feudal Japan.
Yeah, everyone wants Japan. All right, so moving on. The next one, we're going to talk about the NX, the
Ooh.
Nintendo's secret project. I think they haven't even
What project is Nintendo involved in that isn't a secret? Honestly, they're very good at keeping shit under wraps.
Yeah, at least with this. I know a few weeks ago that the controller leak happened.
That was
we
a
were
fake.
gonna talk about that on here, and then literally the day before we
Right.
filmed the first episode, both guys who made the fakes came out and said they were both fake. So
Mhm.
I was actually Team Fake. I was so mad when we didn't get to talk about it because I would have got a point for that. But yeah, what we're talking about today is we're gonna make a little
Excuse me.
friendly wager on which we think is going to come out first, either NX handheld system or an NX console.
Okay.
I think a lot of the rumors right now are stating that we're going to not only hear about one of these or both of them soon, but one of them could potentially even launch this year. And so yeah, which are you thinking? We're going to get a handheld first or console first?
I mean, okay, I was gonna let you go first. I don't want my decision necessarily to sway you because I'm right, but I'm gonna again. I think I'm gonna pick option C in this. I'm gonna say that Nintendo, being Nintendo, is gonna throw such a huge curveball that they're not only gonna drop the NX console out, they're going to drop the NX handheld out on the same day.
Same day?
Same day
Oh, you're
release.
going team
of
both.
Team both. In a world first, Nintendo's just going to be like, here you go. Here's all the shit you could ever hope for. Maybe even as crazy as to say the NX handheld will control the NX console.
Okay.
I take that back. I rescind that. That's way too much.
Okay.
But
Well,
they're gonna come out same day.
I'm gonna say he's crazy because launching a handheld and a system on the same day is just stupid.
It's fucking brilliant.
It's stupid.
Who doesn't want to spend $800 in one go and then have to buy games on top of that?
I mean, that's my argument. Who wants to spend? Okay. I'm saying I'm gonna go. He's going both.
Yeah, fuck it.
So honestly, I could go either or, but I'm gonna go with the console coming out first. I think they have Pokemon launching on 3DS this fall, so they already have a big handheld release for the 3DS. There wouldn't be much reason to then release the NX handheld and kind of split their profits because anyone who would buy an NX handheld this fall would probably not be able to afford Pokemon. So they would lose sales there. I think the console coming out makes sense. They don't have really any console games like big ones I can think of releasing this fall. They keep saying, Zelda Wii U, but I think at this point...
That could be,
our computer went out. Hold on.
we may or may not have technical issues right now.
Yes.
Jim's on vacation is what happens.
Fucking Jim.
Jerry! We got Jerry in here filling in for Jim. Can't keep the fucking lights on.
I think it just might be the HDMI. Because my computer went out too, which is weird.
We'll keep this in post.
Computer. Let me see if this is still running. Okay, it's still running. We just don't have the stuff on the TV anymore.
That's fine. We can glance down here and there and have fucking Jerry.
Yeah. Fucking god damn it. It's Jim's younger brother.
Lights coming out there took away from that.
I was going NX console. I was talking about how they keep saying Zelda Wii U this year, but I think it's going to be NX. I think it's going to be an NX game at this point.
Take it on your side as well. I mean, I'm still not changing my answer. I'm going team both because I choose from the heart. But I do agree. After seeing the new 3DS XL coming out with the C-Stick and the extra processing power, there was not really, at least from what I saw, a huge market of people shifting over just to get that or to have access to new games. So I agree with you in that sense that it probably wouldn't be wise, especially with that Pokemon game coming out. Not a lot of people will be able to get it. I mean, it's a shame that you're wrong, but it makes a lot of sense.
I'm going console first. All right. So next up, let's see what we got. Titanfall 2 we're going to talk about. EA's pretty much already said it's happening. I believe they said it's coming out before spring of next year. We're going to talk about whether or not we think it's going to have an actual campaign this time. Now, obviously, the first one had like a competitive multiplayer campaign combo. This we're saying whether or not we think it's going to have like an actual either solo or co-op
a real campaign
this time. A real campaign.
Not some audio log in the top corner yelling at you
fighting
during a multiplayer match. It was a total joke in Titanfall 1. How are you supposed to focus on an objective-based multiplayer match while at the same time listening to the dialogue, which, I'm sorry, a 5-year-old could have wrote. There was no
I can't remember any of what was happening.
There's no relatable characters. You can't recall the characters.
Not sure if you've tried to do any of those campaigns lately, or even in the past year.
You can't access
No one is playing them. You can't play them.
Sorry, you missed the window.
Yeah. You can't even get those achievements anymore.
We should have we should have went through it earlier, recorded it for the people that missed out.
Yeah, like 2 years ago.
Hindsight is a bitch.
But I personally think there's going to be a single player or co-op campaign. There has to be. Like they boosted the numbers of their team for this next game, which hopefully we'll get a reveal for that soon. I'm sure by E3 or at E3 we'll get to see it. But I definitely think they pretty much have to. Like it was the biggest fan backlash from the first game was the fact that there was no single player.
And outside of that, there really wasn't too much backlash. I mean, it was very innovative as far as what it brought to the table for an FPS at the time, especially with the amount of wall running and jetpack use.
Which then Call of Duty completely stole.
Oh, they hoarded out.
Yeah.
Yay, go Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Way to be
coming up with just visionary ideas. Not sure where they're getting them.
Oh yeah, great job, guys. Keep it up.
Yeah.
But on a side note, from that note, that campaign, yeah, it was the biggest amount of backlash from everyone's standpoint. I would like a small one. I don't need anything crazy. Just a nice little 5-hour romp to, embellish the universe
some,
in which you're in.
Popcorn blockbuster moments.
Yeah, explain what's going on in the in this world, in these towns. Where did these titans come from? What was going on with it? Why are you fighting? Not just hey, let's drop you in and shoot some shit.
Yeah.
As fun as that is, it's nice to have a little more meat and potatoes with your games, which they're definitely, at least in my opinion, as it sounds like yours, they're gonna offer.
Yeah, I definitely think so.
I mean, begging that question, I wanna throw out a little side bet here. I think they're gonna show some campaign gameplay footage at E3 this year.
I don't even have to take that bet. I agree. I think when they reveal this game, it's going to be with a campaign. Like they're gonna come out. Like everyone knows what the multiplayer is gonna look like. Sure, they're gonna add stuff, but it's still gonna be Titanfall. I think when they reveal this game, it's going to be like, hey, here's a campaign. We listened. We're sorry for not having it in the first one.
It'd be a smart move, honestly.
Yeah.
All right, so we can agree on that too. This has been a very agreeable episode of Rumor Ring. I'm liking this.
All right, so the next one, this just leaked yesterday. I think sometime last night.
Okay.
Not sure if you saw them, but just a ton of concept art and pictures leaked apparently for God of War 4. Not only did it show Kratos in there, but he has a beard and pants.
Beards are in now.
And an axe.
Axes are in now too.
Yeah, and pants.
I don't know about pants.
No.
We can get rid of pants.
And it's also kind of leaning towards Norse mythology. Okay. Now, it just seems like if this is true, Kratos is going to kill every mythological creature, not even in his own mythology, but in every mythology.
Right.
Which, it's kind of awesome.
It is kind of cool. And in a way, I think it's very possible. Being a fan of the whole, idea of parallel universes or the multiverse, I would love, this is thinking long term on it, but let's say in this sense, if this Kratos in this Norse world, I think, it's Kratos, but it's not the Kratos that we are imagining. It's, we had your Kratos from the Greek mythology. In a different universe, now you're having this Norse Kratos. So he's got his beard, his axe, all that. That opens up so many universes and so many different forms of Kratos that you could play as, and gods you could fight with. And to me, I think it'd be neat to have a feature to sort of break through those universes and have a cross between some of those. Maybe a clash amongst the Kratos.
I actually had last night at work. I had an idea with Chris about.
Shout out to Chris.
Yeah. Hi, Chris.
Hey, Chris.
Sup? He's not watching this far into this episode.
No.
He mentioned, if he's gonna be doing all the mythologies, are they eventually gonna have him fight like Jesus? And I thought of just the coolest boss battle. Like he's fighting Jesus. Jesus is shooting like lasers and stuff at him, and then out of nowhere, just a hand comes from the heavens. It's God. It's just a giant hand, and just imagine tiny little ant-sized Kratos. Of course, button mashing minigame, holding his hand up,
dude,
trying to fight it off. Yeah, so that needs to happen.
That would be really
if you
cool.
work on God of War, make it happen.
Please get on that.
Yeah, it would be epic.
Not controversial at all.
No, not at all. Well, I mean, how many people did they piss off when they killed all of the Greek mythology creatures? I mean, some people probably still believe in that.
A few people.
Probably not.
No, but it is cool though to think about that, because it's a weird line to draw. When you're studying mythology, Christianity and the Bible and all that, it is a form of mythology, and that's something that some people don't recognize. So to have a game break into the mold, that would be cool.
Yeah.
No, I know we got a little sidetracked from the whole Norse theme there.
I just had to bring that idea up because
really,
when we were talking about it, it was awesome.
Yeah, it is a cool idea.
It's just a hand coming from the heavens, just it would be so cool. It's never gonna happen, but just imagining it is awesome.
You know what's probably happening is there's somebody at the studio right now who had that idea in this program, and they have to take that out of their game so they don't get sued. Way to go, Dick.
Yeah, that's whatever. All right, so I'm personally saying this leak is real. I think it's gonna be a Norse mythology game. Biggest reason I think it's real is just the amount that leaked. Generally, in a fake leak with the concept art, you get one image. And, people debate, is it real, is it fake? And it turns out to be fake. It's just some guy. the amount of concept art that I saw would have taken months to draw. Like, there's no way. Like, I know the NX controller thing, they spent a good amount of time on those fakes. There's no way someone spent this amount of time faking this amount of concept art and images, and I just don't.
I don't know, man.
Think it's fake.
What were the words of Alfred? Some men just want to see the world burn.
Someone would have had to literally just spend the last 4 months doing this.
In the age of the internet, I think humans can waste time in abundance like nothing else.
Okay, I hear you on that. But then Polygon came out and said that from their anonymous sources, they've been hearing that this is all true. So on top of all this coming out, Polygon's like, yeah, this is what we've been hearing.
Okay, so they've got some credibility there.
So I'm going Team Real. I think we're getting Norse mythology, God of War 4. Whether or not it'd be called 4, I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I'm going to go Team Real as well for the idea. I think that's very possible. But as much as I think it's happening, I would love to find out that it was just just bored fan who's like, I'm going to troll everybody.
Yeah.
and just made 40 odd pictures of that.
Yep.
But Team Real.
Yeah. Okay, so next one we're going to talk about actually is not gaming related. It's Walking Dead related.
Ooh.
Yeah, now spoilers, heavy spoilers.
Heavy.
From not only the show's finale, but potentially some comic spoilers here as well.
If you guys are not caught up or you don't want to have any sort of speculations unfolded, this is the time to go back or pause the video or just...
to try to skip ahead. And when you're gonna skip and it's gonna land and we're gonna say someone is dead.
We'll do
right as you get there. It's gonna be perfect.
Signal.
You're gonna hate us.
Should we have a signal when we're back? When it's safe, like a safety free zone?
Nah.
I'm gonna.
you can do that if you want.
I'm gonna throw my hands up. Skip ahead to that.
Yeah.
We'll be good.
Yeah. Okay. So, as you guys we're diving right into spoilers, by the way. As you guys probably saw, the season ended with Negan killing a character. Introduction to Negan, by the way.
Yeah.
They nailed him.
Beautiful introduction.
Like, he is perfect.
A little long, but really well done.
I didn't even care it was long. He's just so terrifying, and I think not only did he act it so perfectly.
Oh yeah.
They nailed the perfect dichotomy between his craziness and just his charisma that the comics pulled off so well.
He was super suave. I mean, if he wanted to beat me with a bat, I'd let him. I'm just saying.
Not only did he his introduction was just perfect, but I feel like Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick, just like he looked like pure fear.
Oh, he was broken.
Like just his face, like is crazy. Like it looked like he was actually afraid.
What was cool though is you got to see that transition.
Yeah.
He didn't start off the episode. He started off the episode just being Rick. He was normal, old, fearless.
Yeah.
Just big cojones Rick, who's like, you don't fuck with my group. I'm Rick Grimes, bitch. He was broken throughout that episode. It was phenomenal. That whole scene of just seeing them being herded through the streets.
Yeah.
The whistles in the background were haunting. I mean, it really brought out a bit of a primal fear. Anybody could have just came out and been like, I'm the bad guy, I run you now. You're my my workers, my associates, my slaves, whatever have you. But Negan, like you said, he's charismatic. He's into the theatrics, Even his fucking bat, it's named Lucille. Like that is
Lucille.
So cool. It's his baby girl. Like, Negan, chills.
Yeah, so good. So anyway, in probably the most disappointing turn, in my opinion, of the episode, Negan goes to beat a character to death, as he normally does when he introduces himself to different groups. It cuts to first person and then cuts to black before we get to know who the character is, and now we have to wait till October to find out.
Quite a bit away.
Now, the big reason I'm not a fan of this, someone who read the comics, is in the comics, and this is comic spoiler, in the comics it's Glenn who gets it. And in the comics, I believe one of the first hits he gets on him pops Glenn's eye out. Not only does he laugh and make a joke about that, he just continues to beat him then to death, as everyone's watching and horrified and everything. It was, as I described to you earlier, the Red Wedding scene of the Walking Dead comics, and instead of doing that, not necessarily to Glenn in the show, to any of the characters, they kind of cheaped out gave us a cliffhanger, and as I described to you, it's basically if right before the red wedding scene happened in Game of Thrones, they had cut to black and ended the season there.
True.
Like,
which in a
super
way,
disappointing.
It is, and I have to agree with you on that in the disappointment, because I can see, I think, why they did it, in the sense that, you know, if you were to kill off the problem with killing off fan favorites, especially this far into the show, is you get such developed attachments from the fan base that I think the creators start to fear killing them off and losing those viewers. So by, you know, keeping it open-ended and not really showing who exactly it was that died, you're going to bring all those people to that first episode next season to kind of say, you know, hey, who was it? And then hopefully keep them hooked for the rest of the season. But that, in a way, also, it pisses me off, because that is an insult to the fans.
I fully agree that that's why they did it, too. I think they're worried...
But that's not my point, though. The point is, for me, again, what I was trying to bring up is that it is a huge insult to the fans. The Walking Dead fans are more loyal than, you know, so many other franchises out there. So, you know, you have to kind of deliver to them, give them what you want. Like you said, that scene, like being like Red Wedding, you have to deliver.
You also have to trust your fans. I honestly do think the biggest reason they did it, whether or not they'll admit it, is because they were afraid of potentially losing a chunk of people over who they decided to kill.
Right.
Now the thing is, like, you have to have some trust. You have to trust that even if you kill a fan favorite, your fans are going to come back. And I feel like this was them saying, we're not trusting you to come back, so we're going to hold this over you until next season, just to at least get the most amount of views next season as we can.
Right.
And I don't know, that's a little shady, but kind of went on a little tangent there just about the finale, but the bet we're making now is going to be who we personally think got it. Who we think died.
Who actually took the blows from Lucille.
Yeah. I've literally had my answer ready for the past, like, 2.5 years. I've always had the same theory on how this was going to go down.
I'm pretty sure I know your answer, because we've talked about this before, and I think you're wrong if it's who you're saying it is. So let's let you...
past 2.5 years, I've thought it was going to be Daryl. Like, I knew Negan was coming eventually in the show, and I knew when they introduced him, and this is also another reason why I was kind of pissed how they did it, they had to kill the character that was going to make the biggest impact. Just to be like, there's this new badass, like, bad guy. He's not taking any names. He's going to kill this character, and it's going to be shocking, and it's going to, you know, sure, maybe have some people not watch anymore, but it's going to be like, he has to top everything they've done before. He has to top the governor. He has to top, you know, the wolves. He has to top, like, any antagonist they've ever had, and the way to do it is to kill Daryl.
I mean, he's a fan favorite, so...
He's the fan favorite. It would be... And that's the thing. If it is Daryl, I really think they should have shown it in the finale, because it would have been, like, just watching... One, it would have been very hard to watch. It would have been potentially harder to watch than seeing the Viper get his head
Nothing will ever be a side spoiler for Game of Thrones fans, by the way. But nothing will ever be harder for me than that.
I don't know. Watching... Daryl getting beaten to death with a bat.
I'm not saying it wouldn't have been hard to watch. I wouldn't have gotten pleasure out of it. But I mean, is that
I'm
still
going Daryl?
Still your take, Daryl?
That's always been my thing, and I think when we come back in October, we're gonna see Daryl get it.
Just getting it.
Now I know some people will think it's Glenn, not only because the comics it was Glenn, but also because of all the fake outs this season. But I think the fake outs this season are why it's not going to be Glenn.
Okay.
I think they did too many. Even at one point, he was gone for 2 episodes, and they didn't even have a name in the opening credits. Like, they went that far to make you think he was going to die.
Right.
And then later on, when the zombies broke into Alexandria, you know, there was that other fake out where they were crowding around him, and you're like, oh, he's going to die again, and then he gets saved. It would just be, at this point, like, if they did Glenn, it would still be a fairly big impact, but the fact we've already had 2 fake outs at this point, it's going to be like The Boy Who Cried Wolf.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I'm not going to care that much, you know. I also don't think it's going to be Rick or Carl because of how
I was saying, as many people as you don't think it is. Are you gonna limit it down to who I want to pick? Because I haven't made my choice yet.
Oh, that's fine. I'm going over why I think it's going to be Daryl.
It's going to be Daryl still. Okay, I got you.
Rick and Carl, it pretty much can't be because of the comment he made. Negan, he pointed and he said, if he does anything, meaning Rick, obviously it can't be Rick, if he does anything, take out Carl's other eye. So it can't be either of them because of that comment. I also don't think it's going to be any of the female characters. Now this is a little more gender based, but after one of the hits, he says they're taking it like a champ. Now, that you can call a female a champ, but that sounds more like something you would say to like a guy who's taking a beating than a girl who's taking a beating. That might be a little sexist. I apologize if it comes off that way.
But
it just sounds more.
But it's an observation you're making of a character who most likely. I mean, let's face it. Negan's running all male post-apocalyptic group.
Yeah.
He's going to be a little sexist.
Probably, yeah.
That's not far out. So with something like that, I think that's a fair observation.
Yeah, so I think it has to be either Abraham, Glenn, Daryl, or Eugene at that point. I think I pretty much narrowed it down to those four. I feel like, and this is why, I already took out Glenn for my reasons. Eugene, Abraham, Daryl. Daryl's the only one out of those three that's going to make an impact. You kill Abraham, you kill Eugene. It'll be sad, but it's not going to be like, oh my god, he just killed that character. It's going to be like, oh, he killed Abraham. Oh, he killed Eugene. Especially Eugene. Eugene would be like, oh, whatever.
Right.
That would be like the smallest impact. So yeah, narrowed it down. That's why I'm still at Daryl. I did the math. So yeah, what are you thinking? Let's hear your math.
Outside of you being wrong, I disagree that it's Daryl. Only because one of your biggest strong points you were bringing up was impact, and if you're going to make an impactful death, with a respectable character like that, there needs to be more of a build-up, more of a scene. Daryl had no exposure that episode. He had no conversation with Negan that episode. When Negan was walking around, having his discussions with people, he didn't ever once talk to him. To cut to the chase, and I'll explain why I got to my decision as well, same as you. I believe it's Abraham. And I think Abraham's going to have not necessarily just as much of an impact in the sense that you were talking, but still big enough of an impact in the show that it's going to be meaningful. Throughout that episode, one of the biggest things, Abraham had a discussion with Eugene at the point where Eugene was taking the RV to kind of get away, which, by the way, good on Eugene for getting brave there a little bit. He's really
the past
grown.
few episodes, he really stepped up. He has. But it was cool, though. It was emotional. And the thing that was brought up was Abraham said to him that you're a survivor. And he said, we're survivors. So it's like they're having this very emotional moment. You're hearing that. On top of that, Abraham and Sasha, if you recall, they're becoming a thing now. Now, Sasha, throughout the series, has had a very hard time with abandonment and issues as far as getting close to people. Because, let's face it, her brother, her boyfriends, all that, like, anytime she's gotten close to somebody, they die, they get killed. And she is just now finally becoming a little bit normal again. And, getting this relationship with Abraham. If he was to get killed, I think that would just spiral her out of control. Yeah.
So I think the impact that he's going to deliver with his death is more so within the characters in the show than it is the impact to the viewers. It also, again, with him taking it like a champ, it's Abraham, militaristic tie, if anyone's going to get beat, I think he could take it. And he even kind of showed that a little bit when Negan was giving his speeches, to everyone. Abraham kind of puffed his chest out, he stood up, put his chin up. One of those things where it's like, it didn't seem like he was necessarily getting in Negan's face, like he wasn't being cocky about it, but it was kind of like, look, if you're going to kill me, you can do it, but I'm not a bitch. Like, he's going to, put himself out there. So I don't, Negan might want to, snip that in the bud. By not killing Daryl, also, you're not going to lose out on that fan base who, let's face it, there are people, as great as the show is, who would straight up be like, if Daryl's dead, I'm done.
Well, and I have something to say about that. I've always felt that if you're going to stop watching a show because of one character's death, you're not an actual fan of that
and
show.
I completely agree with you on that.
I hate that.
I
like,
agree
if you're
with
watching
you,
now and you're that person, I hate you.
Oh, if I die, I expect all of you to stop watching, by the way. That show your true signs of fandom. Please. No, but I agree. That is something that, shouldn't stop someone from watching a show. But I think that that's still a big factor.
Yeah.
It happened, look at Heroes. Whenever Heroes was out, in the beginning, a lot of big characters dying.
Yeah.
As it went on, it became harder for them to get rid of characters because of that fan base and those relationships that people were growing with them. I think Daryl and Glenn are too far into this show for them to kill off. Glenn partly because of the way you said the Boy Who Cried Wolf effect.
Yeah.
Daryl's just too fucking popular. Plus, also, the build-up you were saying about with Glenn not showing his name, things like that, sort of that tease to it. I think they did the same thing with Daryl. You know, having him on Talking Dead afterwards, he's got another show coming up. There's just too many things that make it seem like it could be him that I feel like people are not. But also, I mean, we both could be wrong, because I've heard there was talks of audio logs at the end that, you know, can be heard, you can hear Maggie screaming for Glenn.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows if that's supposed to be just some, you know, trickery to keep you, guessing.
I was going to say we're going to probably find out in October, but let's face it, this horrible decision AMC made to do this, we're going to find out a lot sooner, and it's not going to have any payoff because it's going to be on a leak.
A leak would be awful.
And that's what's going to happen.
It'd be just as bad as when they said.
That's another reason why I'm so mad about this, is that we are going to find out in some leak way before the season even starts.
Let's make a side bet here. A leak from AMC themselves, like when they told us that Beth was going to die, or a leak from someone else? Because I'm going leak from AMC. I think they're going to slip up and put something on their Facebook page.
I don't know if it's going to be that
I still have
bad.
not forgiven them for that, by the way.
I unfollowed their Facebook page after that.
Oh, yeah. It was awful.
Like, oh my God, I was so pissed.
I'm scrolling through. Oh, Beth's dead. Wait a second, it's not on for 2 more hours. Dude.
So mad.
So salty.
But anyway,
so I'm going
we
Abraham.
need to move on to the last topic here.
Let's move on. Abraham.
I'm going Daryl.
Settled. I win. In October, sorry.
All right, so we got one more thing to do. We're going to bet on another Metacritic review average, and then we're going to go over quickly the stuff that's already happened from last week.
Cool.
So this week we're going to be betting on Ratchet and Clank, the new game, the kind of new game that's coming out next week. It's actually going to be based off the movie that's coming out soon that, in turn, is kind of based off of the first game that came out on PS2. So it's kind of a remaster, but they're saying that there's going to not only be new stuff in it, but there's going to be a lot of stuff from some of the later games in the Ratchet and Clank series. So it's not necessarily just a remake of the first game. But we're going to bet on the Metacritic review score average on this. The Ratchet and Clank games have generally always reviewed well. Mm-hmm. The lowest I could really find is in like the mid-70s for some of the spin-offs they did.
Okay.
And then most of the main games scored in the 80s to about 90, I think is the highest they've scored.
Okay.
So with that in mind, we're going to bring our whiteboard in again. Got the pillow
you got
to
got some Sharpies here. Let's get this going.
Yeah. Get our pillow blocker in here. And we're gonna bet on this. Oh, try to draw it as big as possible.
That's what
I realized last week.
Oh yeah, it was so small.
Yeah.
I always write tiny.
All right, I got mine down. I'm ready. Locked in.
I think I'm good.
Got the correct answer. So.
Let's do our reveal.
Oh.
Woo! Someone's feeling a little generous.
There it is. So Tyler is giving an 85 out to him. I'm going with 88. I'm confident that they're gonna score 88 or above. Honestly.
That's fine.
So.
Confidence does. I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean it's gonna get an 88.
I think it'll be 88 or higher.
If I could get
That's
all
all
of you,
I
anybody out there watching at this point who's made it this far in, do me a solid. Go review Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, they don't put just
drop
anybody's review up on Metacritic though. Like Billy Joe can't just be like, I'm gonna write a review.
You just pissed off Billy Joe out there, who's just getting ready to type up.
That's fine. I don't care about Billy Joe.
To all my professional Metacriticers out there, is that a thing, Metacriticers?
No, it's just like usually the bigger game sites get put up on there, so like IGN, Game Informer.
Perfect.
Sometimes
IGN,
smaller sites.
Game Informer, smaller sites. What's that one? Mogo, Middle of Nowhere Games or something like
Middle
that.
of Nowhere, yeah.
Middle of Nowhere
Games.
If you're,
I don't think they
out
get
there.
put on Metacritic though.
Still give them an 85.
85
Ratchet, anyways.
or lower.
85 or lower. I'm happy.
All right.
So we want to recap.
We covered all of the stuff this week. We're gonna recap last week's stuff. Dole out some points where they've been earned. Let me switch over here. I think there are only 2 so far that we can confirm. The first of which we talked about last week, Final Fantasy 15.
Right.
The rumor was it was releasing September 30th, and they had that event last week.
Showing off some
and
footage. Potentially.
They confirmed September 30th as the date. So we both get a point.
Good.
We're both 1-0.
Woo!
There it is.
All right.
And then where Tyler takes the lead and this is in the
I told ya,
cheapest
I
way,
told ya.
cheapest way possible,
You made the rules.
is the Pokemon Sun and Moon footage. We bet on how much footage they were going to show. He bet 13 seconds. I bet 30.
Yep.
They showed 0 footage, so technically he is closer to 0 than I am.
Again, I wanted Price's Right rules. We both should have been wrong.
So
But-
he gets the point in that one. Now I will say, Quantum Break next week's episode we're gonna call it.
Yep.
The Quantum Break review average, as of right now, it's sitting at a 78. So I'm feeling pretty comfortable in getting
I'm
that.
probably
win.
gonna lose that one.
Yeah, there's I think 100 reviews on it. So for it to go up anymore, there need to be 10 perfect scores. So I'm fairly confident I'm getting that point, but we'll come back to it next week.
We'll see.
But yeah, that's about all we have today. So yeah,
Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Remember, if you like what you saw, like, subscribe, share.
And if you have anything we want you want us to talk about in a future episode, any rumors, theories, and any stupid bets you want us to make, just leave it in a comment below, and we'll probably get to it.
I just realized I forgot to give the signal.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
They're still skipping ahead.
Yeah. So to those of you that just skipped ahead to now,
You might want to go back a little bit.
you missed a lot.
Yeah, there was a few things we talked about.
All right. See you next week, guys.
Have a good one.